Hello from the land of TV. This is King Cool, and welcome to the Toast Reviews. For those of you who do not know how this works, I've just watched myself a movie, and I've got some toast. So I'm going to put the toast in, and I have to talk about the movie before the toast is done. And if I burn it, something bad happens. It's still sort of in the air, even though I've been doing the show for like 5 months now. Today, in the toaster, we have onion bagels. I think they're just regular Shop and Stop brand bagels. I forget. They were actually going to be last week, but then when I was making the cookies, I'm like, oh, I can toast up the, I have to toast up the oatmeal. I said to do that one because we're going to do onion bagels. I'm like, so you didn't have a good Valentine's Day, so you won't be kissing anybody, so here's an onion bagel or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't really that well thought out. And the movie I'm doing today is The Mod Squad. Now, some of you, longtime viewers, will know that was the third thing I pulled out of the penalty box. And I bought it in, like, May. I just never got around to it just because I'm lazy. It was, like, May, June or something. Maybe it was July. And so I'm a lot more likely to watch something if I have the disc than to do it on streaming, as poor Trimantha will know. Maybe I'll do... I keep saying I'm going to do Jackie Brown someday. I'm sure it will be someday, so I apologize and I thank you for your patience. But, and the funny thing was, so I went and bought it on Amazon, and then I checked it right after the show was done, because I was figuring, I'm like, okay, it's probably not going to be very good. I'll send them my copy of The Mod Squad, that way they have one to rent out to people. And guess what's now on Netflix? So that was $3 well spent. Anyway, there's enough griping about that, because it's plenty to gripe out with the movie. Here we go. I knew I was in trouble with this movie in record time. The second the Paramount logo, whatever the thing, went away, up popped in like phony-ass courier text the definition of mod, the way they use it, which is, for me, a gamer, mod means a modification. But in the context of that show, it was modern. It was like one of those words that didn't really survive past the 70s, like solid or right on, or I think that Boogie was like 70s, I think. What else? So, and I didn't mean to do 2 remakes of old TV shows in a week, but it's just the way it turned out. And I think I remember why I was sort of being easy on Charlie's Angels, because Charlie's Angels wasn't good. Charlie's Angels was incompetent, I would say. But Charlie's Angels, like, I swear to God, this makes Charlie's Angels look like the One, and makes the One look like the Matrix. There's just nothing to this movie. No one bothered to write it. There is nothing in the script. Like, there was a tiny bit of wit and things in Charlie's Angels. It wasn't much, but you never notice how much you appreciate those little things until it's not even here. Like, there's 2 things, and for some reason, they didn't... Shit, I didn't bring down the players. Hang on. I always forget, but I need them this time. I absolutely need them. You know what's the worst kind of scene? The way to end a scene? Let's do something. Let's have a little fun. So please put your hands together and welcome the inanimate players. Hey, cop guy. You messed up that town. And you blow up that orphanage. I want you to control yourself. Are we done? Are we done? They do this in the Star Trek remake, and they also do the thing where it's like, hey, don't put 1 scratch on my car. You know what I'd like to see is a scene where they have a thing like that. It's like, don't put 1 scratch on my car, and they go through all the stuff, and when it comes back, the car only has 1 scratch on it. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be interesting? You know what's the other thing they like to say in this movie? It's like, hey guy, you gotta be careful here. Shut up! They say shut up so often in this movie. Like, I would swear to God, it's like 50, 60 times or something. Or, oh, better yet, hang on. Dude, you have to be careful. Save it! Or I'm sorry that I blow up your thing. Save it! Save it for later, or whatever. You know what save it and shut up are? Save it and shut up and are you done are all things you put in a script because you haven't written an end to a scene and you haven't given anyone anything interesting to say. This movie was never written. This movie congealed under the sink somewhere. This is just, it was almost like it was written at the speed of thought. Oh man, maybe just came out of breath because I just ran to get the players, but I hated this. There's nothing here, there's nothing to do. It looks nice. I like how they use like nice dark, I mean, I'm sure it was stylish at the time, but there's lots of black on screen, which you don't really see a lot of. It's very dark, interesting. Sometimes occasionally do this thing, but like, literally, just like with Charlie's Angels, half an hour went by, and I'm like, what did we learn? What was the point of all this? And then the plot starts going, and, oh gosh, it's like, oh, some of these guys are going to be bad guys. Could it possibly be that the one guy who's obviously a bad guy, the one guy who's nice but's obviously a bad guy, and the one guy who's anomalously nice are all bad guys? Could it Jesus, I don't know. What else did I write down here? I don't have as much notes here. What would happen if you were actually in a taxi cab and you told someone to follow that car? Would they just arrest you right there? Oh yeah. Someone chases someone over the tops of cars, and I have a feeling that if you actually try to chase someone over the tops of cars when they're running on the ground, you would not gain ground on them. Unless you were cutting through or over. If you're going the same direction, I really think you're going to lose ground. Okay. A little toasty, but that's fine. I am going to butter them if we have such thing. Do we have time to butter? I think we do have time to butter. I don't know. Like, for me, the biggest thing a movie can do wrong is to not have anything on the page to begin with. To not have characters who you can care about or mean anything. Because it's like, you got all this money, you got all this stuff together to tell what story? To tell us what? This is almost obscene, the waste that's here. This is a big old chunk. Because, like, I mean, I brought up the Star Trek remake and the whole thing about that, and it's like, the whole "are you done" thing. I despise that because it's like a writer's job is to give people stuff to say. And when you say that, you're just like, okay. Like, look at, like, I think they do that in The Love Guru when, Vern Troyer is ripping on Jessica Alba. I didn't see that. I saw a clip of it on, like, Ebert and Roper or something. But they do it in Star Trek remake. And I think they do it a lot in, like, not specifically Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus, but those sorts of movies. Things that are just written without any idea of what could be interesting. Like, I criticize The Social Network for being, hopelessly overwritten, but this is going too far the other direction, where you're not given anything to care about, or to connect to. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how well of a job I've done it, just because, but there's nothing here. Oh, do I have anything else? I don't think so. My notes are pretty short today. Dennis Farina gets the shaft in this movie. He's just in there, and oh man, I could just go on I could do the entire scene with the players, and it's like, hey, you guys are doing bad. Oh, whatever, dude, we're gonna do this. And it's like, look, guy, you think that you can do whatever you want just because you're an ex-criminal? But you can't, you're still gonna listen to things. I'm gonna take your badge. Oh, whatever, dude. Like, I could do this entire movie with these guys, but I'm not gonna waste your time because nothing was ever put down on the page that made it worth it. So, and after a little bit, I sort of questioned putting this in the penalty box, and then I got it, and now I remember why. So, it was a wise decision after all. Anyway, I'm going to eat me this here bagel. Thank you all for watching. If you got something you want me to watch, please make it better than this. And drive home safe. Fools! I mean, hello! I am Dr. Live-Ultron, and it's a cold day in heck. Why do they make the weirdest flavors into the biggest bags? Look at this thing! Oh, that's good for the back. Anyway, I'm supposed to try some radical new flavor with $4 worth of chips. This is not what I call a good investment.
I suppose I should try them. Be back in a sec. Oh, astonishingly, they taste like a dill pickle. I don't think I ever thought to myself, I want that in chip form. Some people wonder how I eat things when I don't have a visible mouth. Well, let's just say, this is a feast for the eyes, or the feast for the eyeballs.